Right, so let's go back to the early days when I was a TI. Like I said, all I taught was air combat and low level, like the best deal ever. So initially, we'll go out as a singleton on both of those things, where down at low level we teach a guy how to navigate at low level, and it's 420 knots, so it's 7 miles a minute. It's pretty quick down at 250 feet, but they get their teeth into it, and then they start doing it as a pair. And we fly 1 to 2 miles line abreast so that we can check each other's 6 o'clock. Now, just manoeuvring a formation like that took an immense amount of brain power. And so one of the first things that we taught was a thing called tactical turning. Now, if I want to turn 10 degrees that way, I'll just turn, and that guy can just kind of motor up a little bit. But if I want to go, say, 60 degrees that way, I can't do that because we'll just end up line astern and I'm not checking his 6. So we do this ridiculous dance in the sky, and they're called double assisted turns. Right, let me see if I can teach you this with the fingers then. So say we want to go 60 left. This guy will go 75 degrees left, and this guy goes 15 degrees right to start with. Right. And as we cross over, this guy comes back through 75, this guy comes back through 15. And what we've done is we've maintained the formation integrity as we roll out. It's called a double assisted turn. If we want to go 30 right, this guy turns 30 left, which just sounds completely odd. This guy goes 60 right, then he reverses through 60 and he reverses through 30, and it miraculously works. Now, you know, when you do those for a couple of years, they're just a natural thing for you, and you can do anything between 0 and 90 degrees. You just kind of eyeball it. When you're a student learning that for the first time, the most horrific trick they do is tack formation 1, and your brain just ends up like mush. And halfway through the trip, the instructor has to take control for 5 minutes so that you can get your head sorted.
Wow.
And then we drop down and do it at low level, and it just blows people's minds. And it's a steep learning curve, so over time you just get more and more involved in this. And then once they've got that sorted, we're doing navigation routes where the turns aren't called. You just need to know where you are on the route, and you turn and maintain this integrity. And then we add targets into those low level routes, and that's a progression of the low level side. On the air combat side, we do a little bit of, the weapons instructors do a thing called cine weave, where they get behind an aeroplane. An aeroplane does a set maneuver, and they have to get in and out and keep the gun sight on and track. It's a prelude to air combat. Then what we do is we teach them the offensive side of air combat, so they're behind somebody else, and there's various maneuvers that we use to get into a position where we can gun somebody. And then we do the defensive stuff, which isn't quite so pleasant. You're looking over your shoulder at 6G the whole time. And then we do just neutral splits, where we just kind of have at it, and there's a progression and they get better and better. And then we do 2 versus 1 combat, which is, again, it's like a big dance in the sky, coordinating with another fighter against one bandit. And then once they've got that hacked, we add intercepts to it. So rather than start close together, we start 30, 40 miles apart and do intercepts using kind of mental arithmetic in our brain to build a picture of what's happening. And once we merge with the bandit, then we go into those 2v1 air combat techniques that we've taught them in the previous phase. And so you can see it's quite a big build-up. And all of that, apart from the weapons events, are done with the tactics instructor. So that's all I taught. It was, wow. I can't tell you how much fun it was. I mean, it's hard work. You do 3 air combat trips in a day. You know, you're on the ragged edge, and you have to brief them and debrief them all correctly as well. So it was hard work. I looked in my logbook not so long ago. There was a period in Valley of 4 months during summer. We used to really maximise summer at Valley. There's a period of 4 months. I think I flew 32 times each month. So I was, by the end of that summer, I was a zombie. I think, yeah.
So what time do these trips start and end? What time do you have to get up, breathe?
So summer, the first trip out in summer got airborne at 7 o'clock in the morning. That was what we called the weather ship. So we would launch one instructor in an aeroplane, go and check out all the low-level areas, make sure it was fit for solo students. That was a good gig to get on in summer, because you could basically get airborne, put the wheels up and say, well, the weather's fit, because summer was beautiful there. It was pretty hard work in winter. In winter, that got airborne at 7:30 when it was just getting daylight. And then we'd fly 4 waves a day, and on each of those waves there'd be 8 to 10 aeroplanes, so we were just banging the trips in. And then at various periods there'd be a night wave as well, because there was night flying on the course.
Would that be the same today, do you think?
Oh God, no.
Like
I mean, they don't have the aeroplanes that we had today. They don't have the number of students going through. And there's plenty of chat about the state of flying training at the moment. It's like a different world, Mike, it really is. Yeah. I'm not saying we were a sausage machine, but we were just banging trips out like you read about. We probably flew more trips in 2 or 3 months than they fly in a whole year at Valley.
Wow.
These days.
Big difference.
Yeah.
So would you mainly fly in Wales, or would you be flying all over the UK?
So the thing about the Hawk is you can get a long way in an hour and 15. So we'd generally we'd be all through Wales for the low-level areas, maybe punching down into Devon. Those would be the classic areas to start with. And then as the trips got more involved, we'd go high level up into Scotland. You get all the way to the north of Scotland, fight your way back low level to mid to lower Scotland, and then pull out high level back to Valley, across to North Yorkshire, across to East Anglia, if you like. So as the students first started low level, just in Wales, and then we'd branch out into these high, low, high profiles. If we're doing air combat or the intercept stuff, that would generally be in Cardigan Bay, just south of Valley, or we would deploy for a couple of 3 days close to where there was another ground radar site like Neater's Head. We could go across to Wattisham for a couple of days, or Coningsby, or up into Scotland to do that as well. The world was your oyster, really, with a Hawk. It could go anywhere. Yeah, it really was, yeah.
If you enjoyed the channel and our video content and would like to support us, you can do this in a couple of ways. You can sign up to our Patreon site, which is a monthly subscription to one of our 4 tiers, each giving you something different, from early access interviews up to exclusive unseen footage. There's also the option of a one-off donation via PayPal, which allows you the option to donate an amount of your choice. Both options really help to keep this channel going and to continue putting out regular content for you good folk. So please take a look at aircrewinterview.tv/donate, and I thank you in advance.